You are listening to GHP Radio, powered by iTrackRadio.com, your independent music source. Fresh, new music, right here on the all-new GHP Radio, your new independent music source.
Do you think that everything's about you? Never wanna hear what anyone else goes through. Well, I'ma tell you what you don't want to hear, and I'ma make it crystal clear. Here, yeah. Taking it back. You don't know my whole history. Taking it back, 'cause you didn't get the best of me. Taking it back. You don't know my whole history. Taking it back, 'cause you didn't get the best of me. Taking the time out to work on me. Walk through the dark of uncertainty. Light in the dark, the negativity. It's like I'm on a ship out to sea. Yeah. Taking it back. You don't know my whole history. Taking it back, 'cause you didn't get the best of me. Taking it back. You don't know my whole history. Taking it back, 'cause you'll never get the best of me. I get sick and tired of trying, so sick of all the lies.
my breath away, makes a bright sunshiny day in a land of make-believe. I never could conceive you're lying here next to me. She's so fabulous. My boo is so marvelous, marvelous. The way we met, it was so miraculous, miraculous. I feel so fabulous. Ooh, oh, oh. What a wonderful feeling. Leaves me rocking and reeling. Loving you's been so dope. A shining star, so full of hope. Just to hold you, been so real. It's the thought of you. You've been my biggest thrill. She's so sensuous. From the first time I saw you, it made me curious. And if you leave, girl, I'd go furious. My boo is so fabulous, fabulous. Yeah. Love is about giving. Every day so fulfilling. It doesn't matter who's right or wrong. Just you and I, a wonderful love song. It must be sent from above. The flowiness of a dove. You're my boo. I'm so into you. Ooh, a wonderful feeling. A wonderful feeling. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You're my boo. You're so fabulous.
Takes my breath away.
Takes my breath away. No one makes me feel the way you do, girl. You're so fabulous.
I never could conceive.
I never could conceive. So miraculous.
Here next to me.
You're lying here next to me. So, so fabulous.
I know you never had it quite like this. You carry so much on your shoulder. It's time to show you what a real love is. Forget the past, baby, let's move forward. I can give you what you're missing. Push you toward your vision. I just wanna be a team. That's just who I am. Gotta show you what I mean. Won't you come with me? Come on and let's get away. Let's get away for the day. And don't you hesitate to say what you wanna do. Take a load off, one you wanna show off. You just let me, baby, if you let me, baby, won't you let me? I'll be all that you need. Baby, just let me be. There's nobody that can give it to you like I do, and I can prove that to you. I just wanna pamper you. Yes, I do. My priority is to be a dream come true. So anytime you need that, I'll do it just for you. Baby, it's all about you. Oh, let me be your everything. Let me be everything I ever need. Take a load off one. Yeah. You just if you let me be, baby, if you let me be the one to love you. Let me be the one to hold you. Let me be my baby.
Give it right to get it right. Give it right to get it right.
Ever since I met you, babe, all I think about is ways that I can please you. Oh, you are the one, you're my priority, and this I'm gonna prove. I'll do anything to keep a smile on your face. There's no debating, true love is give and take, no more hesitating. Yeah,
To get it right.
oh, you got to give it right,
Give it right.
give it right, yeah.
Get it right.
I'm gonna give you love, the kind that you can feel way down on your insides. It's the kind of love with purposeful intention, the kind you need in your life. I'll do anything to keep a smile on your face. There's no debating, true love is give and take. There's no hesitating. Don't be afraid, no, no.
To love with pure
I got good intention. Ooh, nothing venture, nothing gain.
Be good to me.
I'll be good to you.
Everything will be okay.
Everything will give it right.
Get it right.
You got to give it right. Yeah, give it right.
Get it right.
To get it right. Yeah.
Give it right.
Got to make it work.
Get it right.
You and me, baby.
You and me, baby.
Get it right.
Get it right. Give it right.
Yeah.
Get it right.
All I want is loving you. Yeah, yeah.
Get it right.
Oh, give it right.
Get it
Hey, Raja, I'm sorry, baby. I'm not gonna be here to make our little meeting like we planned. But we'll get together real soon.
Another sleepless
Love you.
night.
Bye.
I wanna be close.
What's this hold you got over me? I ain't in control. It's so crazy.
What the hell is going on?
Sleepless, restless, weary night after night. Missing what we share. It feels so right. I love your tone,
I love it.
the way you speak my name.
Rasha.
Waking me from my sleep, for you are real.
Where are you?
Only to find that you were never there.
Baby.
Did you really want me? Did you care? Can you feel me? Can you feel me? To me.
I wanna be close, baby.
If I choose to wear my hair natural, in a curl, pin it up, or wear a flow.
What's that to you?
Twist it out, roll it up, or wear it long. Braid it down, straighten it out with a flattening comb.
What's that to you? I couldn't be me.
That's what he wants. I was born to stand out from the crowd. Don't you bother with me. I'm just saying and I'm shouting it loud. Free to be me.
I was born for this moment.
A design set just for me. I'm strategically planted to fulfill my destiny. If I choose to wear purple, green, or gray, or white when it's not a sunny day,
What's that to you?
and I choose to drive a fancy car, or an old one I pray will get me far,
What's that to you?
that's what he wants, what he wants. I was born to stand out from the crowd. Don't you bother with me. I'm just saying and I'm shouting it loud. Free to be me. Free to be me.
I understand the pressure.
To measure up.
Don't let them set your standard.
You're in God's love. Go against the grain. He'll show you the way. You don't have to settle for less, for less. No matter what, don't matter what. You were born to stand out from the crowd. As long as he's pleased, you have to be. I'm just saying and I'm shouting it loud. That's what he wants me to be. I was born to stand out from the crowd. As long as he's pleased, I'm just saying and I'm shouting it loud. Great is God's handiwork. I am his handiwork. I'll stand out from the crowd. As long as he's pleased, don't you bother with me. I'm just saying and I'm shouting it loud. Yeah. Oh, I'm free to be me. If you ever felt the same, I know just what to say. I say it's undeniable. Every time we touch, you know just what I like. I'm all about you, boy, 'cause you're the best thing in my life. And every time I see you walking towards my way, it's undeniable. You are the one. And every time I look into your deep brown eyes, it's undeniable. I am your girl. When we love this deeply, you know just what I want. You are undeniable. Every time we touch, you know what I like. You're all about me, boy, 'cause you are the best in my life. see you walking towards my way, it's undeniable. You are the one. And every time I look into your deep brown eyes, it's undeniable. I am your girl. And every time I see you walking towards my way, it's undeniable. You are the one. And every time I look into your deep brown eyes, it's undeniable. I am your girl. Towards my
You know how to love me every day. You try to love me in every single way. You want my heart, so we're never apart. Baby, take my hand and tell me where to stand. You know you want me, and I know I want you to. Baby, all we gotta do is keep on, keep on, keep it on, till the break of dawn. You can keep it strong. You can keep it strong. Keep on keeping on till the break of dawn. Till the break of dawn. You can keep it strong. My heart is for you. This I'm saying is true. You got me hanging on everything you do. So baby, tell me how you want me, baby. Tell me how you need me, baby. Tell me how you like it, baby. You know you want me, and I want you too. Baby, all we gotta do is keep on, just keep on keeping on.
were there for me, shared your big heart with me. Deep in your eyes, I could see the love, like the ocean blue. I think I love you, yeah. I never thought I'd be here before. With love so pure, couldn't ask for more. It's not a dream, I opened my eyes, I saw you. Innocently you came to me. No plans to mean so much to me. Deep in my heart I had the need for you to lift me up. Oh boy, you fill my cup. See, you came along and you lent a hand. You're more than my friend. See, you understand. I never thought I'd be here before. With love so pure, couldn't ask for more. It's not a dream, I opened my eyes, I saw you. You are my love, you are my light. You are the thing that makes everything alright. You came along when I needed you. I adore you. Yes, I love you. I never thought I'd be here before. With love so pure, couldn't ask for more. It's not a dream, I opened my eyes, I saw you. I never thought I'd be here before. With love so pure, couldn't ask for more. It's not a dream, I opened my eyes, I saw you. I saw you. I saw you. I saw you.
I realize I'm enough for me now. I turn the corner, no apologies and no hesitation to my destination. Reset my life, hey, it's my time. I've forgiven you for my heartache. No more sad songs, I can see the daybreak. Morning meditation, thoughtful relaxation. Trust the healing, learn to love again, love again. Babe, I know you've done it before. It's always easy
my heaven. Every time that you leave, bells aren't ringing. Oh, won't you stay? Won't you stay with me? You made me see songs I never knew, but I wanted to. As time goes by, my heart aches. You're the sun to my rain every day. It's you, it's you, it's you, it's you. You make me see. It's you, it's you. You're my everything. As birds to sky, I love you. I want you in my world. Don't you want me to? It's you, it's you. It's you, it's you. You make me see. It's true, it's you. It's true, it's true. You do, you do, you do. Please say you'll stay with me. Stay. You set me free, baby. Please say you'll stay. I've sang some songs, old and new. We can make it alright, just me and you. You make me see. You do, you do. Yes, you do. You're my everything. It's you, it's you. It's you, it's you. Yeah. You're my everything. You're the air that I breathe. You're my heaven. Every time that you leave, bells aren't ringing. Oh, won't you stay? Won't you stay with me? It's you, it's you. It's you, it's you. It's true, it's you.
shorty, do that. Tell me if you're staying or not. She like M King, tell me if you're paying or not. I'm like, come on, ma, tell me if you're playing or not. She on my MySpace, tell me if it's getting you hot. See, I'm a king getting stopped by a queen, and she a queen.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Indie Live Spot right here. And we're streaming on YouTube Live. Hope everybody's doing great. I hope you're having a great weekend so far. This is Labor Day weekend. I'm very excited about Labor Day weekend. I always do because, you know, I'm still a person of employment. So, I work a regular job every day. And so whenever that time comes around, we always get an extra day off. So anytime we get an extra day off, I'm happy.
Yeah, no, right?
Yeah. So, but anyway, we are here, and we are actually currently waiting for our special featured guest today, Mr. William Mickey Stevenson, to get connected. The representative that is trying to help him get connected, I think, and so that's what we are waiting on. So we thought we should just come on and. In the meantime, while he's trying to get connected with us, hope you all are doing fine. Ray, you over there asleep already? We hadn't even started the show.
Yes, you are.
You got busted.
Not a different thing you was talking with the intro. It was a long night for him.
Yeah. Hey, so how's everybody else doing?
Everybody else is good. How you doing, Gary?
I'm doing great.
You getting a day off.
I'm doing wonderful.
So you're doing real good.
Yes, I am.
I'm gonna take a few days off too. By the insistence of my my husband insisting that I do, so we're gonna take a few days off next week.
I must have sent her the wrong link.
It's a long wait.
The link, Miss Jones, that was in the stage face with Sam Cooke.
Boy, he just
you just changed my conversation.
Don't even know.
No, I just saw that.
We don't even know what you're talking about.
I just saw that.
Were you even listening to anybody else but yourself?
No. He's still asleep. He's still asleep.
I mean, we were on Earth, and next thing I knew, boom, we're on Mars. You know.
Oh man.
I think everybody's just trying to get caught up on sleep or from something. Gary is excited about having a day off because I saw on Facebook you were repairing radios or what?
Oh yeah, that's what I do at my job. Yeah, wireless radios and stuff. So yeah, that's an everyday job. I like it. It's all right.
I would too if it went over my head.
It can get kind of crazy at times. Yeah. Anytime you're working with electronics, you never know what you're gonna come across sometimes. Because all that stuff is all powered by software and firmware and all kinds of stuff. So.
And chips and stuff.
Chips and
right?
everything. Yeah. And so it's amazing, but yeah, it's definitely an interesting type of field there to get into.
I mean, I would love to know that. You know, I think the more you understand about technology, whether it's hardware or software, the more empowered you are, and the less vulnerable.
Oh yeah, for sure, no doubt.
Hello?
Hello. I think we do have somebody.
Let me put the speaker. So I can't see you all. You're amazing people. Okay, now I can.
Hey.
I interrupt a show that's already going.
Yeah, we started, but that's fine. That's not a problem. We were just waiting on you to get connected to us, and we're happy that you are connected. So.
Yes.
All right.
Do you need to? Do you still need to make some adjustments? Because if you do, what I can do is do a little music swap, and then we'll come back when everything is all adjusted and ready. Does that sound good to you?
That would be good. I just want to take full responsibility. I'm the person that's responsible for my husband being late. I don't want to step over that.
No, not a problem.
And now I'm trying to set it up on my computer.
Okay, no problem. What we'll do?
All right.
We'll go to a music break, and we'll come right back. So.
Beautiful. Is it possible someone can email me the link, because they keep sending it to my phone and I'm not able to send it over for some reason?
Absolutely, we'll do that. Joyce, you want to help her out?
Yes.
All right, we'll be right back.
It's gonna go off the air, so.
Beautiful.
very excited to be back because now we have our featured guest today, Mr. Williams. Mickey Stevenson is here. Welcome, sir. Thank you for being here.
Oh, it's a pleasure being here. Pleasure to be here.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're very excited about having you today. It's all we can do is talk about about you all week, and actually, I've actually been talking about you ever since I've read the book. You know, you sent that book, and I really appreciate you sending that book to me and autographing it for me as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the whole thing. I mean, it was just it's one of those books that pulls you in, and it just I felt like I was riding on your shoulders the whole time. It was just awesome. So
that's powerful.
Congratulations on a wonderful piece of work there, sir.
Oh, thank you. They're trying to do it as a movie. They offered me 3 different deals, and I told them they wanted to add some gangsters and some drugs. I said, no. Do it like it's written, and I'll make a deal. Other than that, but we'll offer you a lot of money. I said, that's not the point. It's not about the money. It's about the people getting the idea that we can do anything we want to if we put our hearts in it and let God lead the way. If they don't get that message, it means nothing. So they backed off.
Well, you know, that's how movies they want to do. They want to add their own portrayal of everything in there. You know, just take away from the whole daggone script.
Yeah, right. I say wrong guy, wrong deal.
Yeah, you know, I don't blame you for that.
Can I say just thank you? Thank you very, very much for taking that stand.
Oh yeah.
You give me hope that there's still people with integrity and care about the truth.
Oh yeah. Very important.
Well, maybe Spike Lee can put it out there, the truth for you. but that's important. That's important to history, because what you have is history.
Yes.
Something that changed the music industry, something that was so influential. If it weren't for you and Motown and what happened in Motown, the rest of them, we would probably be hearing something different in terms of music.
Oh yeah.
It's influenced so much, so it's really important, and I'm happy. And it's going to be a movie. I'm sure somebody's going to catch on, and then when we're gone, then our children and grandchildren, great-grandchildren, they will know the truth.
Yeah.
Not a fabricated Hollywood version.
Yeah. Ain't gonna happen. Won't happen.
Oh, thank you so much. Ooh, thank you.
Excuse me, Joe. Since Marvin Gaye was there, a part of Motown and everything, and we just got through doing a stage play with Sam Cooke, and we're getting ready to bring the play into Dallas of Marvin Gaye's story, and I was hoping Nat George, the playwright, would come in. Then you can give him some tips that he might have to change his script to add what you're saying. But he hadn't seen it.
No problem.
Buy the book.
No. Out of his play, on his play.
I know, buy the book.
Yeah. Buy the book or whatever.
No, I know what you mean, Mac.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's more to it than the book. I do know.
There's more to it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've had a few people that were doing Marvin Gaye's story, and some of them called me and they had a similar thing. They wanted to add some stuff in. I said, well, you can do it that way. You're writing it, but that's not the way it went down. I explained to them that if you took the original way that it happened, it's an incredible story all by itself.
Right.
But creative people, they have their own ideas of what they think the audience is going to love, and I can't argue about that. But when they call me, I give it to you straight up, and that's my responsibility, shall I say. And now you can take it if you want it, but I'm saying, I immediately say, if you're not going to accept what I'm saying, don't ask me. So if you want me to tell you this is the way it works, and I'm not going to change it for your pleasure, and I say, I don't need any of it. Right. I mean, God took care of me then, and He's taking care of me now. See, so I don't have to. If I change that, everything's going to go crazy for me, because people like me and Smokey and others that were giving these gifts for a reason. You see? And every time you change the reason and you become the giver, how great you are, you got a problem. Because you can't even grow hair on your own head. So some source is greater than you and I. Anyway.
You definitely have hair in your head, but okay.
Yeah, you know,
and a nice head of hair.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you.
You know, I wish that, you know, I'm gonna have to get the book so I can actually read it. Gary was giving me a lot of excerpts of the book. You know, how did you came in with Gordy?
Yeah.
He in a small room. Boy, that tickled me. He in a small room. Come to the door in his underwear, right?
Trouble room. Yeah, trouble room.
That tickled me.
He lived in a what we call a ghetto fabulous apartment building. You know what I mean? Where you push the button, you better grab the door before it closes. All that kind of
Yeah.
Oh wow. But you know, I like those stories. How, you know, what it said about Berry Gordy, and you got Tyler Perry, who was homeless, living in his car.
Yeah.
When you hear those stories, it gives you hope. But what was your story before you connected? 'Cause I don't want you to give away the book because y'all got to buy it, right? But what was your story before? What was your story before you connected with Berry Gordy and Motown? What were your dreams, and you know what I mean?
Well, I was, my mother was an entertainer, and she was a writer, singer, conga player, and she was very good. And she would train us. We'd have sessions constantly. I remember she was preparing us to do the Apollo Theater, which we're in Detroit now. We don't know what they're talking about Apollo, but she says, listen, I'm going to take you in and you're going to win the contest. And the only thing I remember about the Apollo at that time was the guy with the hook that would snatch you off the stage.
Yeah.
So he said, I said, Mama, we don't want to be snatched off the stage with that guy with the hook, you know, big old shoes on, all that kind of crazy stuff. She said, that's not for you. You're going to win the contest. She said, now what you got to learn to do is practice and study on what you're going to do when you get there. Now that's my job. And so we started rehearsing. Now, my mom being the kind of singer, she was in like jazz and standards and some blues, not heavy stuff. She was with Todd Rhodes Band Orchestra, so it's a whole other vibe. So we were learning songs like, you guys may not remember this, but like the Mills Brothers, you know, and they would sing.
You always heard the one you loved back then.
Yeah. And do I bumbo do I like honey and all kind of stuff. So we were singing those kind of songs, not R&B songs, right? So I said, we're going to sing this song. She said, this is the song you're going to rehearse. This is the song you're going to sing on the show. And so she had a good hookup in New York because of the big band and all that. So she could put us right in. We went to the theater. We went right in the back door and right in. They said,
how old were you, if you don't mind me, at the time?
12 or 13.
Okay. All right. Go on. All right.
And we went right in, and my one brother was 1 year younger than I was, and then my youngest brother, he was 7, I think. Yeah, 6 or 7. Anyway, so that's the three of us, the Stevenson trio, we were called. And so we had our routine down, because when she say rehearse, she means rehearse. And she'd come in and look at us, not, that's not, do it again. You know, she was one of those kind of people. So when we got there, we were well rehearsed. And so I'm thinking we're going to go sit out in the front or stay in the dressing room. She said, no, come on. We go right to the back of the stage while the acts are on. We're standing in the curtain. She had that kind of control with the people at the Apollo. And we saw the guy with that long hook and those stupid looking shoes. And she came out and she said, okay, now stand here and watch what happens on this act coming up. So the act that came on before us, they were singing and sounding pretty good, made a couple of bad moves. All of a sudden, the guy come dancing out across the stage with that hook, whipped that hook around the waist, and then start dancing off with that behind, with pulling the hook over his shoulder, and the person is screaming, and the audience is having a hilarious great time, and we standing there shaking like a leaf. Oh, no. She said, that ain't gonna happen to you. She said, look at that. She said, that's got nothing to do with you. Now think about what you're gonna do when you go out. Remember, stay focused. As soon as they snatch off, you don't get a big break. This next act's right on. Here we come. We walk out there and we get into our song. We are bumble, I like running off a lot. You're as sweet as that's the reason my little brother sang, bees are always buzzing around, looking for somebody new. Now the hook to the song was, at the end of the song, he would fall on his knees and saying, he dropped his knees, baby, 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 that's the way I feel when I love you. Bam! Audience went crazy.
Wow.
All
I don't
right.
even know why they're going crazy.
Yeah.
Because the notes was weird and all that, but he was on his knees with his hands like that.
Oh my
It
gosh.
went crazy. We win the contest.
Well,
And-
wow. Wow.
What I learned out of that, by the way, was over a period of time that it's not what you say, it's what you do is how you do it. And the person could sing better than you, but if you can project better, you're right up to him or even higher. Now, if you can project and sing, you got it made. That means you got to practice more than just singing.
That's right.
Say
So
that.
I heard that then, you see. So that's how we won, and we came home, and we had to go around to her friends at the little parties and sing, and they would give us money and all that, and that was great, and it was fun for a while. And when my mother got sick, went to the hospital, and she was there she had cancer and then sickle cell and all that madness, and when she passed. I was not interested in any more singing or anything. I would go into the bed. It's in my book. When she was in the hospital and they had people come and see her, a lot of friends and all that, and family. When it's time to leave, they would leave and I would get under the bed because when she needed the nurse, they had a little buzzer. You're supposed to push the bell kind of thing, and they would come in. It took forever, of course. So she was getting weak doing that. So I would get under the bed, and when they would leave, and then she knew I was there, and if she needs something, she just pat on the bed, and I'd push the buzzer for her. Yeah. Anyway, that was a tough one.
Yeah.
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 So and when she passed, I couldn't eat or drink anything that had that odor to it, peanut butter, anything. I didn't like none of that because it stayed in my head. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But I learned a lot from her about what you have to do if you want to do something. You got to work with it. It doesn't just come to you. The gift is, as God wiser, of course, the gift is one thing. Developing it is another. Two different ball games. And the people around you don't encourage you, then you got to encourage yourself some kind of way. And what happens is the gift is a positive thing, and the people around could be negative. So therefore they'll say, what you doing that for? You look ridiculous, or whatever they're going to say, take you away from where you're going. If you listen to that, you lose time, and you can lose the energy to deal with the gift that God's given you. And they're there to, like I tell everybody, without oversaying this, there's, good, bad, right, wrong, God, demon. You can't have one without the other, just be one word. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got to watch that negative force. And I learned to deal with that as I got older. I did a lot of crazy stuff growing up. And when she passed, I was not interested in entertaining anymore or any of that. And yet I had to now look out for my brothers and sisters at my age. And because they were all in another kind of place. And so I did a lot of crazy things. And not all good
You were
things.
grieving.
Huh?
You were still grieving. You were young and still grieving.
Yeah. And remember, in Detroit, in those days, you lived in a small circle. I mean, blacks had a little area. That's where, and if you step out of that area,
Right.
you got knocked down, or they tell you to get back. When they say get back, you better get back. They didn't play.
Yeah.
And so now you had to find out how to get out the area and get back without getting hit upside the head with one of the billy clubs or something. You know what I mean? And when you got out of the area, everything you wanted is out of the area. Now you got two choices. You stay inside the area and suffer, or you find a way to get out, get your hands on something, and get back.
Right.
Like you need an underground railroad then, huh?
So that was a way of growing. It was a way of growing up. Because it went on and on. A little better. Stretched the area got a little wider, but it was always the same. It just got a little bit bigger because, of course, they would bring in people to work, so they had to have places for them to live. But you still got to stay together. Don't be stepping out of that space they give you.
Yeah.
That was Detroit.
Wow.
You know.
Wow.
So how did you connect with Motown?
When I went around across the country performing.
So you did return to music?
Oh yeah, I returned because I couldn't. I went in the Army first.
Okay.
Because I was doing a lot of bad things, getting thrown in this what we call juvenile home, and then over here and that one, and it was a normal routine for people like me when you just
Making you a choice.
Yeah, right.
Or going army.
It got to the point that I've been in jails earlier and all that kind of stuff, and they said to me, "We catch you again, Mickey Stevenson, you're going to prison." I'm saying, uh-oh. So I did something where I could go. And we're in the courtroom, and I got to come back in. They gave my grandmother, of course, a date that they had to bring me back. And I said, "Mom, here's the problem. If I go in this time, they're going to put me in the big one." She said, "But you're not old enough." I said, "They don't care nothing about that." She said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to go into the Army." She said, "But you're not old enough to go into the Army. You're supposed to be 18. I said, "Look, Mom, I'm going to tell them I'm 18, and they're going to ask you, because all you got to do is say, he's 18. She said, "Well," I said, "They don't have no paper on black kids and all that. They don't know about none of that stuff. You the paper." So, back in those days, just tell me, you looking to have any kind of paper.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
That's true. Mickey, I was living in New York, and I wasn't ready to go to school. I just had finished high school at 16. I'm ready to turn 17, and they wouldn't let me in until I talked to my parents and had my parents to call the recruiter, tell them what age I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't have to have no paper. All the parents
had to have no paper.
Yeah, he's 17, 18 years old. Well, so what? You know what I mean? They want you anyway. See, that's
they want you anyway.
Right. You got a war going on. They'd be glad to take. So anyway, that's what I went in. I went in, and from there, I started working at the CEO clubs. I guess what they call it. I can't remember, something like that. Where the soldiers are going out, they go into the club and all that, and start doing a little entertainment in them.
Okay. And,
so I got a reputation of bringing on some artists and stuff like that in the club. And then I got comfortable, so I went on and I said, "Man, this Army ain't a bad move. I can stay away from everybody, and they can't lock me up, and getting a few dollars and send some money to my grandma and the family." So I'm saying, I like this. So I'm hanging there for a while, and I ran into some problems in there. They had two brothers called Ashby and Ashby brothers, white boys. Tall hillbillies. And I'm in charge of my barracks area because the captain liked the way I was handling the outside affairs and doing some stuff with him and all that, which is a whole nother world. So now I was in charge of my barracks. Now I'm younger than everybody in there, but they don't know all that, right?
Right.
So they had me, Ashby and Ashby came in, huge, tall guys, and they were talking to me. They said, "Let me tell you something, nigga, blah, blah, blah." I said, hold it. What'd you say? And what'd you call me? He said, I said, "Nigga." And I could look on his face and say that he didn't say it to be terrible. He said it like that was normal for him to say that.
No, it was normal.
Right.
Yeah, right. So I said, let me give you a little tip, man. I said, now, you see all the brothers over there? They ain't gonna like you saying that. And we're gonna have a problem. He said, "Well, that mean no harm." I said, "Well, I'm sure you didn't, but you gotta change that word." He said, well, we were brought up to say, I said, well, you're not in Tennessee. You were here in the Army with us, and you better watch it. And you're in my barracks, and I don't want to have to carry you out of here, or carry one of my brothers out of here, because you're going to beat him up. So let's get this straight.
Yes.
And so, but I could tell that they were really shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, they were like, because where they come from, this was just normal the way they talk.
Yeah, I say normal real.
So he said, so we got to be very close friends. And so I'm on my way into when on the Friday night, Saturday, we're going to go in the city and spend a couple of days and get back to the service. We're going in together because we got to be pretty good. Matter of fact, I used them like as bodyguards with me.
That's right.
He was huge. We're walking into the city, going to the club. I'm talking to one of them, and the other ones are walking in front. And he goes into the club, and I'm talking, and when I get to the door to walk in, a guy's arm comes across the door. We're in, I'll give you this, it'll come to me in a minute, the city. And I hit my neck hit his arm, and he said, we don't allow no niggas in here. And I said, what? And so the other Ashby said, you better move your arm like that, because he knew what that word meant as a country boy. He said,
right.
You better move your arm. He said, come on. And so I'm going to try to walk by, and the guy said, he ain't going nowhere. And what do you mean, come on? This is my club. So now I can see it about to go down. So I said, hold it, man. We don't have to come in there and spend our money in his place. I said, call your brother. We go down the street. So the brother turns around. He's already in. He turned around. So what's going on? He said, well, they won't let Slick in. They call me Slick. They won't let Slick in like that. I said, hold it. Let's not have no problem. So we gonna walk away. I said, come on, fellas. We don't need this stuff.
Right.
We're walking away. Well, one brother was so upset about that. He picked up a big trash can and he threw it through the window.
Whoa.
Well, when it goes through the window, everybody in the place come running out. Now the fight is on. Now these two brothers were nobody to mess around with. So he's tossing people, across the street. The soldiers are coming down. Say, what's going on? They say, man, they're trying to get with some of the boys in the blah, blah, blah. So all those soldiers get it. All of a sudden, we got a riot going on.
Oh my God.
They cover the MPs and the police officers and stuff. They grabbing everybody. Everybody goes to the jail, the stockade. And we go to
trying to get away from that.
Oh yeah. Bottom line is, I'm standing in the courtroom, and the warrant officer was in charge at that time. Big, dark guy, huge. He had all the stripes. You know how you get to be a warrant officer, going to officer kind of thing.
I know about
all those years, he's sitting there like this sort of thing. He said, "Do you know what the penalty is for inciting a riot during time of war?" And I'm thinking, what is he talking about? He said, "It's death." I said, what is he talking about? And then he said, but the Ashby brothers said that you tried to break it up. Therefore, you're going to do some time in a stockade, take your stripes away. We got to think this thing over. I'm saying, what? I come all this place, they come in there, they get ready to go.
And you wanted to walk.
Yeah, right. Anyway, they got me in the stockade. I go through that, and out of that, I married for a few months, and then in the stockade, they had in the rooms, they had those triple beds, a bed with a one on top, one on the bottom, one on top, one on the bottom, 3 of those. So it was 6 of us in a cell, right? Mm-hmm. I wake up one morning, I'm about to fall off because the guy had snatched the prop down. My bed's about to fall down. Everybody's running into the next room. They got a fight going on in there. And I'm asking the last guy, I said, what's going on? He said, man, they got a fight going on in the room. We got to go in there. I said, hold on, we got to do nothing.
No, right?
Come on. So I get out of my bed, walk in the room. I say, are you guys crazy? You going to start a riot, a fight in the stockade? Do you know what's going on? I went to made my speech and all that. Everybody calm down. Okay, here come the MPs. They grab us. We're in the courtroom again. Wow. I'm saying, this is it for me. I got to figure out about something. So anyway, they make the speech. The same guy sits there on the bench. He said, we heard what happens, and we heard you tried to stop the whole thing. He said, so you know what we're going to do for you? He said, you get 2 more weeks in here. I'm letting you out. I can't give you your stripes back, will recommend that you get some blah 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 blah. So that was not all this experience is going on in my head. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
the street
Yeah.
to the thing to the jail to the. And
Sure, your
I'm
name's not Joseph. I'm just kidding.
Well, where was you at in the stockade?
Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Woo! Oh, shit, you in the wrong spot.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, man.
Good gracious.
Bottom line, I get they let me out everything, and so they were nice about it. I didn't get all my strikes back. That was out, but now I'm saying I got to get out of this. This ain't working. I mean, I'm on my way into the city by myself now. I don't want to go with nobody because I don't know what's going to go on. On the weekend thing.
Yeah.
I'm walking past a church, and I'm hearing them they're singing in the building. And as I go by the building, it was terrible sound, and I just stopped. All white church now. I walk back. I walk in the church, and I said to the guy, "What are you doing?" He's on the piano. He said, "Well, we were rehearsing." I said, "Well, you're doing it all wrong." He said, "Could you give us a hand?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, let me hear you sing." You're saying, "Okay, you over here. You're an alto. You're a soprano. You over here. You over here. You're not an alto. Go over here with that." So I gotta say, "Okay, now hit the chord, man. Sing yours. Okay, you sing yours. You sing." And they started. We went over the song a little bit. One of the old songs. And I said, "Now that's the way it works, okay?" And so I started. He said, "Where you going?" I said, "Yeah, that's the way it works. I'm done with it." He said, "Could you give us a hand again down the line? We could use." And I started looking at us. I said, "If I'm coming back, if I'm on the furlough, on my weekend off, if I'm here, I'll come back and give you a hand." And I did. I did that for about 3 weeks. Got them where they could sing, and that was it. And when I was over, I said, "Now what did I do that for?" And I said, what I was getting was a whole message for me. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
And that put me on a whole nother trip. And the bottom line was
We're discovering your skill set.
Yeah.
Your gift. Your gift. You fixed it.
Yeah. And all of a sudden things start making more sense to me. You know? I wasn't just to be here and go to the army or rob somebody or steal something or sell some drugs. I'm here to. It was a purpose. I better figure out what it is before it's too late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These signs. And, so when I came out, which is a whole nother ball game, they asked me wanted me to stay and become. They wanted to send me to officers training school, and I thought about that. And what made me not want to go, and this is leading into the Berry Gordy thing, I'm home for the furlough, and I see, go to the Warfield Theaters like the Apollo is in New York. The Warfield in Detroit was that kind of place. Show, singer, contest, and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I'm there, got my uniform on, trying to find out which girl I'm going to get to and all that kind of stuff. And the short contest is on.
You sure it wasn't Kim?
No. It wasn't her at that time. I'm in the show, and I'm in the seat, and they had Billy Eckstein. No, not Billy Eckstein. Was it Billy Eckstein? Anyway, no, it wasn't Billy Eckstein. Anyway, a group there was called the Four Aims.
Okay.
And they came on singing, and man, they were great. They were singing. They had rock and pop all in one song. And I said, man, these guys are great. And so they win the contest. I said, these guys are gonna be great one day, like that. And that's when I first saw them. And then when I left, to cut a long story short, when they asked me to come back, I didn't want to go back to the Army. I told them, no, I'm out. They asked me to say, well, you can stay a little bit longer. We'll take care of you. They really wanted me to go to officers training school. And they was going out of the way to make it happen. But when I saw that and heard those singers, I said, I am going to go into the show business. I made a decision then. So I didn't go back. And sung around a little bit. Me and Clarence Paul, that guy. We were a Sam and Dave's team. So I
Right.
around with him, and we did that and all that. Bottom line, I meet Barry at a barbershop. I'm writing songs and stuff, and I'm working with musicians, and working with them by making sure that they get paid. I still had a lot of hustle in me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Whereas
Still happening. But anyway.
musicians want to come borrow some money from me, to take home because they got a problem with their weekly pay. And I'm saying, borrow some money, man. You working at the club, saying you're playing the bass or drum, whatever. I said, what do you mean? Didn't you get paid? Yeah, man, but by the time they took out for my drink and took out for the food we eat and blah, 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 man, I ain't got enough money to, so could you loan me something where you might I get back to you? I said, hold it, man.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, let me go talk to your boss. He said, well, what you going to, I said, I'll get your money. He said, you get the money? I said, yeah. I said, from now on, if I get your money for you, you give me 10%. You gonna get my money for me from them? I said, that ain't your problem. That's my problem. I said, so here's the loan. So I go to the club. I sit down with the owner. I say, man, why are you taking the man's money? He playing here, he come in at 9 o'clock, you keep it at 2 o'clock in the morning. Of course he's hungry. What are you talking about? And you say, why don't you give him some food? You ain't got to give him your barbecue and all that, but you give him some food to eat, and give him a drink, and don't take it out of his money. Well, he's always late and all that. I say, I tell you what, I guarantee he won't be late. He'll be here on time. Now you give him the money, and he'll be cool. You be cool. He said, you gonna do that? I said, yeah. Now you give me 10% of what you paying him. He said, give you 10%. I said, I guarantee he'll be here. He said, suppose you don't show, then I'll replace him with somebody as good, if not better.
Damn, man. You know what I'm saying? You
Okay.
hustle all the way around. You gonna get 10% off the owner and 10% of it. You gonna make 20%.
Oh yeah. Well, I ain't gotta loan him no more money because when I loan him, I never get it back. You know what I mean? So that's what I was doing. So of course one guy tells another guy, and so I knew all the best players in the city. I wouldn't take you on now if you wasn't good. I said, man, you lucky to have a gig, man. Get out of here. And so I was one of them guys. So the bottom line, when I meet Barry, he found out. He said, man, I want you to. We're in the barbershop. We getting our hair done and all that. We have in those days you get the waves. You want to put the waves in and all that.
Yeah.
Did they call a process or something?
Oh yeah.
Or Marcel.
Oh yeah. You can put a bump. They'd be so they be waving.
Like Duke, Duke Ellington.
Yep. Benny Mullen, he had the only shop in the area that was worthwhile being bothered with. And everybody that come to town, all the entertainers, they got to get to Benny's and get your hair done. So
that's so cool.
Benny turned Barry on to me and vice versa. And that way, so he can keep you in the shop because he had checkered games, chess games, phones. And he only had 2 chairs. So he want to keep everybody in his shop till he can get that money, right?
Right.
So told Barry, this is the guy I was telling you about. This is Mickey Stevenson. And then he would tell Barry, this is the guy I was telling you about. Mickey, this is Barry Gordy. He's the one that did the Jackie Wilson song. I said, oh, great, man. So I told him, we laying in the chair, like he's one, I'm in the other chair. I said, hey, man, I got a couple of songs you can get a Jackie Wilson. He said, no, that's what I do. He said, but I heard about you. We'll get together and we'll talk about it. He said, when I come back, I'll be back in a couple of months. And I got a plan. And I said, okay. Now I'm thinking I'm gonna be the next Jackie Wilson, see, because I'm gonna get him to produce me.
Right.
To cut a long story short, he comes back, calls me to come to his house, to his apartment. I go to his apartment, it's ghetto fabulous building, where you push the button and grab it before the door closes, all that kind of stuff. And I'm looking for him to have a great place in there, and they ain't happening. He ain't got nothing. He ain't got no drapes on the window. He ain't got no piano. I mean, terrible place. The stuff is falling over and everything. He on his shorts. And I'm saying, is this the guy that produced Jackie Wilson with the hit records? So I'm standing there. I said, man, he said, where's your songs? I said, I got them. He said, okay, let me hear them. He still got the phone in his hand. So I said, okay, he got a lot of nerve. So I put the phone. I was singing my songs and everything. And after about the third song, he said, "You got some pretty good stuff, man." I said, "Hold it. Let me tell you the ones you're gonna get a hit on. I'm gonna get a hit on." He said, "Get a hit on." He said, I didn't call you here to be no singer. I said, "What?" He said, "No, I'm forming my new company, and I want you to be the A&R man for the company, because you seem to know everybody." And I said, "What's the A&R man?" He said, "Well, I don't know exactly, but it's supposed to mean you're gonna find artists, find writers, and make music and get hit records." And I'm saying, "We're gonna record them?" He said, "Yeah." I'm gonna say. So I said, "Now, can I record myself?" He said, "You gonna get a hit?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "If it ain't gonna be no hit, the answer is no." So I'm thinking, and I said, nah, that's not what I'm here for. So I started walking away. I'm packing all my stuff, put it in my bag, I'm walking out. And I'm going back down the hall. He's standing there in the doorway with his shorts on. And I'm looking back at him, I said, "This guy's crazy." And I'm thinking, my mom said to me, if you want to get into something, you got to try it. You'll never know what you can do until you do it. You can always quit. And I'm thinking, so I said, I can turn this into me getting my own recording. So I turn around and come back. I say, "How much you paying?" He said, $5 and a day and all the chili you can eat. Now, I know he's insane. I didn't need the chili, and I don't need the $5. I'm trying to figure out how to get to be a big recording artist and all that.
Yeah.
So I said, "Who do I talk to? Who I report?" He said, "It's you and me." He said, I said, "You and me?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "You can do anything you think can get us some hit records, and you ain't got to talk to nobody but me." I said, "That means I'm in charge?" He said, "You in charge."
Love it.
I said, "Okay."
Yes.
When do I start? And he had a smile on his face. He said, "You already did," as if he already knew that I was going to take that gig.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Back to that piano thing with the choir. I mean, things were happening beyond my control, but they were happening.
Yes.
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 I didn't put it all together yet, but I knew it was going someplace. Smokey come down the hall. He's coming down the hall. So Barry say, Smokey say, "Mickey, what you doing here?" Barry said, "You know him?" He said, "Yeah." Because Smokey and I were saying we had the groups in the city, in high school. We had my group, he had his group. We'd be battling for the jobs. We get the jobs and the gigs and all that.
Right.
I was wearing him out because he was singing blues and we singing jazz and all that. So he said, "I just took him on. He's gonna be the A&R man for the company." He said, "Oh, great." He said, "Man, I got a session tomorrow and I need a bass player and a guitar, blah, blah, blah." I said, "Okay, where at?" He told me. I said, "Okay, you got it." And I'm walking away, and Barry told me, "Say, hey, wait a minute. You gonna get him? You gonna get it just like that?" And Smokey said, "If Mickey said I'm gonna have a bass player and a drummer, I'm gonna have a bass player and a drummer." And he said, I said, "Am I the A&R man for this company?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Then he gonna have a bass player and a drummer." Excuse me. That's how we started, and it never changed.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's
Oh my God.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
this is
just
a
got,
good movie.
that's just really got to me when you're talking about when you walk in that apartment. It ain't nothing in there but a bed and a hot plate.
Stage is falling down on the window. I learned that he was saving all of his money to do something else with it. He didn't care about furniture. He didn't care about none of that stuff.
He worked at General Motors though, didn't he?
I don't know what he was doing at the time because I didn't care. All I was doing was record the record.
Now, let me ask you this. When you was in the military, did you ever go to Vietnam and anything like that? Because you was saying wartime.
No, I didn't go to Vietnam. Where were we at?
Yeah.
I was on a boat. I was in a boat. Where we went? And when I saw the boats getting blown up and stuff, I was done. Where did I go? Hang on. We were going.
Was that during the Korean War, Mickey?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the 50s. Yeah.
Yeah, the 50s.
That's what I said, Korean.
Yeah. Okay. Then. Yeah. You talking about that you was in a compound in the jail.
Yeah. But I was in the city in the first Cheyenne, Wyoming. You know how they bring you in, put you in, and train you to do all the training and stuff. Crawl on the ground in the mud and all that mess.
Well,
and look at you now. Now you got a book.
Very lucky man going to jail and had a cot. Yeah. I was in Vietnam. I had to lay in a Connex box for 2 days. And it was hot and hell in there.
Oh boy.
It had a space in there where you can look out and get a little air, but it was hot. That was the jail.
What area were you in? Where were you at?
I was in Vietnam.
I knew, but where were you at when you were in jail?
In Vietnam.
Oh.
In jail. That was the jail.
See,
Mickey, I got a question for
you
you.
were in jail. All right, go ahead, Vaughn. Sorry.
I got a question for you. When you had this gift to see things and develop them and see talent and work with them to make them who they became. When it makes me think you had an integral part in putting together the Funk Brothers.
Yeah, I brought them in one at a time.
Yeah. So what was the construction of that like? I'm like, who was the first one you saw and say, okay,
well,
this
Barry
guy
had
is going to be good.
Barry had some guys, because I got a bass player here and there just for the first they were into, but he always, being a Detroiter, he knew musicians and stuff himself. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because he had doing the Jackie Wilson, he had to have somebody to work with to get that quality of his songs.
Right.
But for some reason, when we were in the studio working on, we had an artist named Marv Johnson. That was one of his artists. He's out to lunch, but he had a couple of good records, and that was one of the artists I had to deal with immediately. Smokey was trying to get his stuff together, but the musicians weren't working for me. Now you got to understand, I come from a place of a mother with a band and orchestras, and I heard
right. Exactly. Yeah.
All right. When I left that, I got with Lionel Hampton and the Hamptones. I was one of the Hamptones.
Right.
All right. So I heard great bands, great sounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
yes, sir.
I used to study Lionel's wife because she was really the boss. He was the player and all that, but she was one that controlled the whole orchestra. I used to watch her handle them. And she turned to me one day. She said, why are you always looking at me? I said, it's amazing how you got those guys to do that like that. She said, well, you got to know how to handle it. She said, why you want to know all this? I said, I don't know. All I know is it's amazing watching you handle all the musicians.
Yeah.
You know, but in the meantime, I heard and saw the best of musicians.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I'm in and I had a lot of feeling for them, even when I went to hustling with them, in the clubs in Detroit, because some of those guys were really good, and they were being used.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That bothered.
That still happens.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Isn't that true? Yeah.
So I guess when it came the time for me to get the musicians, I went looking for those kind of guys. I'm looking at what we got, and I'm saying these guys can play, but that, So of course they had a piano player, Joe. He was pretty good, but I said you need a better drummer, and so that's why Smokey told me to get me some musicians because he already ran into the.
Yeah.
And Smokey was a very gentle person. I wasn't as gentle as he was. You know what I mean? I come from a different kind of place.
Right.
And we were friends back then. And so, I would, I'd cuss you out, you go crazy. And he would say, he was always going nice like that. And I said, man, we don't need that crap. I'll go like that. So anyway, so I would find, when I got the drummer, I got a drummer who was an addict, but he was incredible. He was a metronome. And he played with a guy who had a guitar kind of thing, and Benny Benjamin played the drums, and he was just all over the place, never missed a beat, and I hired him to be our drummer. And when Smokey said, "Man, you get that guy?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, is he kind of out there, ain't he?" I said, "I don't care about that part. Nobody out plays this guy. All you got to sit him on the drums. He's a metronome, and he was exactly that.
Yeah.
And he. To cut a long story short, I have to sometimes when we were in things were really happening in the studio, I would have to go get him from one of them houses where he in there hiding. Not all the houses, you know what I mean? Because they knew me.
Right.
And I would tell him, you hang on to that guy till I get there. Yeah, I say, man, you don't want no trouble out of me. You hang on to that drummer. Till I get there. Don't let him out of there. I said, now do me a favor. Buy everybody a drink on me. Like that. So I'd go get him, man. So he said, I'd bring him out. He said, well, I said, get in the car. You know, take him in, put him on the drums. Once he sat down on them drums, that was it for all day. He could play all day. But he was one of those kind of players.
Right.
And each musician that I got them because they were absolutely phenomenal. They just happened to be in a place where nobody paid any attention to it because they're making a living.
Right.
But they had the gift. Even James Jameson, he could sing the notes while he's playing them. He would be singing them. He'd be actually singing the notes. You ever seen the musicians do that kind of thing?
Yes, sir. I do understand.
Ain't nobody to fool around with.
Yeah. No doubt.
I saw him playing. He was sad. I said, man, man? I said, I went about 3-4 times in a row to see him. Because I didn't like the bass player was there. I said, man, why don't you come and play with us? He said, man, you're hardly making some money here. I say, so? I'll make sure you make more money. I say, we're going to be great, man. He said, man, you got a passion for this company. You've been here 3-4 times. I say, man, I want you to come and play as being one of the musicians at Motown. Whatever you make, I'll pay more than that. So that you're ahead of the ball game to start with.
Right.
Right.
He said, okay, man, because I'm sick of this. I said, you ought to be sick. You ain't getting no money. You're playing your heart out. You're sitting there, your face all frowned up and everything.
Yeah.
I got here. I went down the line. I put each one at a time. And when they got together, they all had a similar thing going on. Knew they were great, but couldn't go nowhere. Now they had a chance to express themselves among themselves. And they became just unbelievable. I mean, they learned every producer's style. And even though they had the chords, but they knew your style. And once they get into it, they move that paper out the way and just write the song out. You know what I mean?
You know, just like they done with what is that? My girl.
Oh yeah. Well, the deal with the Four Tops, by the way, when I got the job with Barry, we're doing pretty good. Things moving, and I'm skipping a bit.
Yeah.
But he tells me, he said, man, I want a jazz label. I said, a jazz label? That's less than 15% of the market. We need a jazz label for. He said, because we got to diversify. I said, well, let's do something else. He said, whose company is this? I said, it's your company. He said, and you say you can do anything, right? I said, yeah. He said, then give me a jazz label. I said, okay, man, I get a jazz label. I got to go to New York someplace because we ain't got no jazz label here in the city. And he said, I don't care where you go. Anyway, I take off to get a jazz label. And I find some great musicians in New York. Now, they were all the best. I got to the best ones in the city. But they would all play with, you play with me, I play with you, he play with him, like that. Nobody was locked down to anything.
Right.
And I said, we can't build an artist around that kind of a line. They got to be signed with us. So it didn't work. I called him, I said, man, this is not working. He said, what you gonna do? I said, well, I'm gonna get me a Nancy Wilson kind of singer. Then I'll get the people to write some jazz and stuff around her. Now we got an artist. We'll build a label because we got an image to go around. He said, great idea. I said, but I got to go to Chicago because you do more hustle. Here, everybody's all big time. I got to go where they need some, find me a girl. He said, okay, well, you going now? I said, well, I'm going to take off for the night and relax because I've been doing this for 2 weeks and it wasn't nothing happening. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to find me a girl singer. And in the meantime, I'm giving myself a break. He said, okay. On my break, I go down to the Village. I'm hearing Billy Eckstein is in the Village. I go to the club. I'm about to walk in, and I hear this group singing on stage. And I said, wow, those guys, whoever these guys are, they were called the Four Tops. Now remember, when I met them, they were the Ames.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same group that I was on furlough.
Can't wait to hear who they.
Yeah, wow.
Got it?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the Lord working again. I went into I was shocked. I walked in, I said, man, these are the same guys that I said, oh man. So as soon as it was over, there was the opening act. As soon as they were finished, I told the owner, I said, I want to tell them guys, I want to buy them all a drink, blah, 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 blah. So he brought them over to me. I said, man, you guys are the same guys I saw when I was on furlough in Detroit on the contest. I said, and I want you to come back to Detroit, sign with me, and I'll make you stars. And they looked at me like I was some kind of nut and said, man, who are you? I said, well, Mickey Stevenson, Motown there. They said, man, you singing, y'all doing that R&B stuff over there. We don't sing R&B. I say, what do you mean you don't sing R&B? You sing songs. But you get about titles. Mm-hmm. You're singers. I said, let me ask you a question. You want to sit here and sing behind Billy Eckstine forever as a backup group, or do you want to become stars on your own? They looked at me. And I kept going. I said, I remembered you at the Warfield Theater when you won the contest back then. And here's the song you sang. And I sang that song for them. They looked at me like that. And the guy came over and said, man, okay, you got to get ready. Mr. B is about to go on. And I got up off the table. I said, you come to Detroit, home where you live, stop by my office, and I'll make you stars. And I started walking out, and then I started singing the song again. And then Duke joined me.
Wow.
I walked out the door, and we left. Sure enough.
Mickey, you know you was wrong for that.
I know, but I was.
I love it.
But I love those guys. I mean, that was part of the reason that I was where I was at. You mean? They inspired me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sure enough, they came to Detroit. I mean, when they came home and they came up to my office, they came in, 4 of them, and they sat there. They said, you said you're going to make us stars? I said, yeah. And I reached in my drawer. We had a very short conversation. I reached in my drawer, pulled out 4 contracts. I said, take these, read them. I said, let's get one thing straight. I ain't changing shit. Gonna make it
stars. You ain't changing nothing up.
Nope. They went out the door, stayed about 20 minutes. He came back in the door. Duke said, give me a pen. I looked at him. I'm sitting in my chair like that. I can give him a pen. He said, give him a pen. Duke signed the pen, and he looked up at me. He said, and he pointed. He said, you said you're going to make us stars? I'm holding you responsible. He put down the numbers. He didn't care about that contract or nothing. I said, okay. I took the stuff, took the contracts. I said, come on. We walked over. I said, where you? He said, we're going to the studio. Went over to the studio apartment room, walked in. The guys were in the Holland Doge, and everybody was to finish the session. And Barry come and say, man, you signed another group? We got enough groups. I said, hold it, Barry. Hold it. Mm-hmm. I say, okay, guys, sing me a song. And Duke Levi say, sing what? I said, sing anything. They opened their mouth and started singing. All the producers looked and said, and they all took off. Bam! Duke and them said, man, where they going? I said, they going to start writing some songs for y'all. Barry looked at me. I just walked on away.
I love it. Wow.
We became so tight. We became like brothers. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And that's how the Four Tops got into Motown, just like that.
I'm glad you brought that up, Mickey, because I was listening. I was talking to our main man right here, Gary Houston, yesterday about this interview.
Yeah.
And I said, this question just came into my mind, and you know, I've always been a listener of certain tones and sounds and voices of this great music. And you know, out of all the male singers that came out of Motown, I mean, there's been tons of them in its illustrious history. I've always wondered, out of all the voices that Motown had, was there one in particular that represented that name in terms of like what it meant to be a artist at Motown? Because I love David Ruffin. and Eddie Kendricks and you know, just name them. The list goes on and on. But in my heart, I felt Levi was that voice that carried that Motown name. I don't think you would agree with me, but it just like something about that man's voice that typified Motown.
I got a surprise for you. I agree with you 100%.
Wow. Yeah.
Levi had a sound that was a combination of Eckstein, Arthur Prysock, Jackie, all that was in his voice. I got that saying. His sound was, and I used to wonder why he didn't get hoarse or something. That guy had a sound that was incredible.
Yeah.
No matter what the song was. Tempo. Am I right?
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. No
This
doubt.
is Levi Stubbs. They didn't go to college, you know, all that stuff. But
got
yet
your
they
answer.
had it.
I got your answer. Okay. How could Stevie Wonder play the piano and can't even see it?
Right.
There you go. That's it. That's it. That's it. It's that
How could he sing songs of experienced dialogue and he was too young to even know where the bathroom is? Those are gifts. That's what I'm getting at. Those are
I know
gifts.
what you mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate enough, by the grace of God, to recognize gifts.
Now, let me ask
That
you.
was my gift.
I agree with Vaughn. You really have the gift to recognize gifts.
Exactly. I thought it was a singer. When I started seeing singers, I threw that word out of my dictionary. I can fake it now. Don't misunderstand me. I can fake it. So I know who was faking when they was faking. You mean?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
right.
They didn't have no auto tune. That's for damn sure. They had no auto tune. Now, I want to ask this. What was the name that you had as the secretary? Was that Martha Reed?
Martha Reed.
Martha Reed. And he wrote a song that you was gonna give to Kim, right?
Oh yeah. I
She
had a
got
problem.
pissed off at you because you gave it to Martha, right?
Well, she took it. By that I mean, when I heard her sing that song, me and Marvin and Ivy Joe heard her voice hit that song. That was it. Now, my job was to put the best on the best.
Right.
I don't care who it is. You may have started it, but that one's better. I say, hang on, I'll get something else for you. Right now, this one here got to sing this song. You can say anything you want to me and get mad if you like. And I can understand that. I ain't mad at you getting mad at me. But this person's going to sing that song.
I heard that.
They can deliver it. Now, that's it. Now, so I'm one of those people that some of them love me and some of them hated my guts. You got it? Not hate, but you know what I mean? Because I would,
Now,
yeah. But I would come back now and find something for you to do now. Don't misunderstand, we would leave you out there. But this song go to that person. Even in the groups, don't want to be singing. And I would say, man, no, let so-and-so sing that lead. You know what I mean? Well, hold on. Okay, tell you what. I'm talking to the producer now. Okay, let them both sing. We'd be in the control room. I said, now let him sing the lead. Now, which one sound better? Okay, that's who should be singing the lead. You know what I mean?
Now, I got this other thing, which I tried, couldn't get a hold to because I know she's far perform. I want to have Kim on the show because we interviewed Kim several years back, and it would have been nice to have both of y'all on the show at the same time.
Who is that, Jim?
Weston.
Kim.
Kim Weston.
Oh, Kim. What
Yeah, we've had interviewed her.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Was she nice about me?
And she said what she told us. I got some stories to tell. Remember that, G?
Yeah, that's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Yeah, she said, I got some stories to tell.
But you know, speaking of stories to tell, of course, I'm trying to remember, when did Tammy Terrell pass away?
Oh, that was a while back. Yeah.
Was she Motown, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's what I thought. And she and Marvin Gaye. And you know, if it's in your book and you rather not say, I get it, trust me. But you know, in the early years, you know, it was brain cancer, and then there were rumors that she was abused by two of the men that she was seeing in the Motown. So I'm being discreet, in
Yes.
case you don't want to reveal details.
Well, I appreciate the way you handle that, and I don't want to reveal it either, but it went down like you thought. How's that?
Okay. Yeah, that part.
Was she hit with a hammer?
No,
Come
no.
on, I'm trying to be discreet, and he.
No, it was
I
weird,
know.
really
That's
weird.
the
Great
I heard
talent.
that laugh from somewhere.
Find
Great talent. She was a great talent. Great talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, seeing them together, I just watched the two of them just a week ago,
Right.
and I was like, oh, isn't that just beautiful? But another story is about, you mentioned Jackie Wilson, and when he passed away, I think it was pneumonia or something like that, but he didn't know he had a son that looked exactly like him.
Yeah.
I thought that was an amazing story. So
And can
I
sing.
haven't, huh?
And he can sing.
Yes. And
I took him to Europe.
You did, and I, I heard a story in an interview, and I was listening to him. I said, "Wow, I think this is amazing," and all I could think, his daddy would be so proud.
Oh yeah.
Somebody tried to take him out, but they didn't know God had another one just like him.
They got a hot sister here. Wait a minute.
I love that story. You know what I mean? And for
Yeah,
him to find out, and I can't remember the details because it's been years when I found out how it was some major artists. I don't remember if it was Smokey, but people on that level, they saw him. He said, "Come in here," and I think it was Quincy Jones in the room, something like that. And they said, "Who does he look like?"
Look just like
and went, "Jackie Wilson."
And can sing like him.
And can sing. They were freaking out. Then they said, okay. Then they got a DNA. I think Jack had another son, got a DNA, and that's when it was confirmed that he was Jackie Wilson's son. And it's great to see him performing. He loves what he does. But y'all, I know we have kids that look like us, but he looks just like his dad.
Oh yeah. I took him to Europe for that very, very reason. I took him to show you in, and I asked him, I said, "You let me go and do your dad's song?" What? Yeah. We went over. We stayed about 3 months.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
What is his name? Jackie's son. What is his name again? I can't remember
I'm the
now.
worst badass.
And I follow him TikTok and everywhere else, and because I wanted people to look him up. Bobby
right,
Brooks
yeah.
Wilson. That's his name.
Yeah.
That's right. Y'all look him up. He's amazing, just like his dad.
Hairstyle and everything.
Touch his
He
hair
loved
like
it. They loved him. He was great. Yeah.
Yes.
Had a lot of fun.
Did you notice that back during that time, although we have like Smokey Robinson, he's still around, and did a lot of them die young? Do you think?
Well, yeah, younger than they should have. Let's put it that way.
That's what I mean.
My spiritual side, when I really put it together, because all the things I was doing, I knew it came from a source. I got to that level, but I didn't really tune in to the Holy Spirit and God, and that came down the line.
Right.
Recognize that this was gifts for a reason. I was here to do this anyway. I couldn't stop it if I wanted to. All I could do is not recognize it and then leave here too soon. Once I recognized it and make sure that I let everybody know where it comes from, I'll be around so I can say it. So, and not just say it, this is the proof that it exists. There is God. There is the Holy Spirit. There is. Right. And we do have these gifts, more than one. Some of us have 4 and 5 gifts. And if we recognize that and recognize the giver, then he'll keep us here so that others will know and believe. Now, if this is my approach, my thinking, if we take advantage of it and all of a sudden we become the giver of our gifts, we're on our way out of here, either poor or leaving this earth, because the purpose is no longer being dealt with. You get it? We become the purpose. And that's my way of looking at it, of course, to each his own. And I love it when Smokey does not hesitate to say he thanks God for the gift. He doesn't hesitate to say that in front to 10,000 people. He don't care whether it's 10 or 2. I don't care whether it's 10 or 2 either. And I told him, I said, you ain't got no problem, brother. You keep giving God the glory and you'll be around, me and you will be playing golf at 110. You know what I mean? Now, I recognize from my experience, and I'm 86. I recognize from my experience.
Did you say 86?
Yes, dear.
I was not thinking 86 at all.
Well, I recognize from my
God is good.
That's all I'm trying to say in a nice way. When I got the message, I started really leaning on the subject and letting people know where the gifts come from and why. And then there is a negative force. And now if they stay long enough to listen, you can lose the functioning of the gift listening to somebody tell you what you can't do. And when that's happened, then they'll leave you alone because you're no longer valuable. Now they take that negative dialect and find somebody else to give it to. If you recognize, and that means you got to get a spiritual connection to fight that power. There's a power there on the negative side, like there's a wonderful power on the positive side. Yeah. If you try to handle it by yourself, either way, you got a problem. So, and my job is to say that. I make that very clear, no matter who I talk to, and whether they like it or not. That's what I'm supposed to do. And now,
I don't just like it, I love it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you in a minute, I'm a walking witness that it works. I'm in your face saying this. I say this to my own sons and daughters. Look, I look better than you do. Now, why is that?
Because you took care and you listened.
Yeah. And once I got the message,
we have
Heavenly Father is.
We have a gift, but we got to be able to find out what our gift is. You know, because we're here for a purpose.
Yes, every one of us.
Every one of age, Mac. It doesn't end at a certain age.
No, I'm not saying that it is ending.
No, but I'm making a comment.
Okay.
I'm supporting what you're saying, and it doesn't end at a certain age. Some people think they're too old to do. I mean, look, you said you're 86. Look at how much energy you have. You wrote a book, people knocking your doors for movies. You got a lot. Yeah, 110
I got 2 plays going up. 2 plays.
Wow.
I'm doing Azusa Revival of the Musical. I don't know if you know about Azusa.
I do.
Okay.
Yep, I remember. I heard about it.
The Holy Spirit came down in Los Angeles on Azusa Street in 1906, something like that. I got the dates.
Where all the ministers were up in the apartment.
And people coming in to the church. When you walked in a certain area, you went to the Shekinah glory like a smoke space. You stepped in that, you were beginning to heal. Those got rid of crutches, blind seeds, arm group. This is all that they got it written by white folks in books. They were there taking the reviews. I'm not, and look it up on your own. Azusa. Yeah. Look it in your computer. A black man named William Seymour was the founder of the church. It went from 7 people to 750 million Pentecostals. I was brought in by the Japanese, who were Pentecostals, who own that area as we speak right now. They brought me in to, they said that we'd like to have a meeting with you. Blah, blah, blah. What you want? They said, have you heard about Azusa? I said, in the Bible, yeah, in the upper room. They said, no. It happened again right here. I didn't buy it because I didn't no concept of that. They said, okay, here's the book written by the mayor. Paid $100,000 to got a report on it. Here's the book. Here's this. Here's that. Go do your homework and come back. Now I think all these guys are a little touched. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you never know. You know, try to.
I took the stuff. I took the books. I read them, found the guy who wrote it, and sure enough, the mayor paid him for the research and all that. And I said, wow. Now, it did happen in the upper room, so why couldn't it have happened here? Then I got into it, and I did my research, and it got really heavy. And I said, okay, who would play a William Seymour? I can't get an actor. It's got to be something special if I happen to do this thing. And my wife introduced me to a minister named Dietrich Haddon. You can look him up too.
Yeah.
And I said, well, who is he? She says, well, he's a gospel singer, like number one. Yeah, number one gospel records and all that. So I'm saying, okay, my singing part would be great. That's good. I say, okay, let me see. She said, well, he got a church. Come on, I'll take you to his church. I go to his church. Now remember, I'm sold on the idea, but I'm not locked in because it sounds so magical. You know what I mean?
I do.
So I'm going to the church, and the guy comes up, and he's singing. I said, oh, boy, this guy, he's no question. He's got a Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder sound. I'm so. Then he turns around and he preaches.
Yep.
And then and I'm talking about preaching. Then he comes down off the stand, lays his hand on a few people. They get to walking and, coming out with the problems they had and all that. And I'm saying, wow. And I said, so it was over. I met him. I'm going home, and my mind is really twisted now. I go to my son, who has a prostate problem, and I said, come on, have a little snack with me. He said, what's the matter, Dad? I said, man, I went to this church, and I was looking for the guy who may be playing this role, and I heard this guy sing. Nobody out sings him. And then he was preaching, and he laid his hands on a few people, and they started walking and getting up out the wheelchairs and stuff like that. He said, come on, Dad, you know how it is. That's why they make money. Then he turned around and asked you to give him a lot of money. That's the con game. You know how it is. I say, but this was a little strange, son. I say, why don't you go back with me next Sunday? He said, yeah, okay. We go back the following Sunday. We're in the place. I hate it when they take me down front because I can't get out if I don't like something. You're stuck. You can't get up and walk out of a church.
That's true.
so of course, they march us down front, you know what I mean? And we sit in the front. So the young guy come on, sang his song again. And my son looked at me and said, man, that guy's incredible. I said, I know, just like he got Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder sound all in one voice. I said, I know, he got the gift. And then he stops. Then he announces that another minister is going to preach. I said, wait a minute. Sure enough, an older guy comes up that Dietrich likes, takes over the sermon. Now I'm disappointed. All this for nothing. Guy preaches. I mean, he was powerful. He comes off the stand, walks over to people on the floor, touches a few people. They get healed. About 3-4 people get healed and stuff in the church, falling all out. They cover them up with cloths and everything. And then the guy starts back to his seat. Back to the pulpit. He stops, turns around, points his finger at my son and says, you got a prostate problem. And the Lord told me to tell you, when you get healed, you let everybody know, blah, 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 where it comes from. Wow. My son started crying. The guy walks up, didn't say nothing else, finished his sermon. I don't know what to say now. My son said, how did you know? I said, he ain't never seen you. He ain't never seen me. And he knew exactly what your problem is. We're going home now. I said, how you feel? He said, I feel better. I said, well, you better take heed to what he said. When you heal, you better let them know where the healing come from. So now I'm sold on the whole 9 yards now, right? I go back to the meeting with the Japanese. I said, I'm gonna take this deal. I said, and I'm going to turn it into a musical. And they said, why would you do that? I said, with music, I can bring you into the theater, but I want them to see this story. So that'll bring them, so they get the whole story like that. I said, now, how long have you guys been working on this? They said, for about 40 years. I said, okay, I don't want none of your suggestions and none of your ideas. I do it my way or I don't do it. That's why we called you. So I said, okay. I said, it's going to take a while. I got to write this. This ain't something I can just jot down. Songs I can handle. But this has got
started yet? Is it done?
Oh, I finished it.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. But when I was... I haven't put it up. It's all written out, laid out, right down to the last word. And that's a whole nother story. But when I got up out the chair and I started leaving, I turned around, looked back at them. I said, why did you guys call me? I said, we're in Hollywood. You got the best writers, producers, directors in the world here. Why did you call me? And the minister said, we studied your work at Motown and everything you've done since you left Motown, and everything you've acquired and the knowledge you have was for this reason. That was scary.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
I had to walk
deep.
out. Yeah, very, very.
That's as deep as Max sleeping.
Had to leave. I had to leave. And then I had to be baptized again because I wanted to speak in tongues. I never did get that part. So I went. I asked the. I said, "How do you do that?" They say, "Well, you can get baptized." I said, "It's a gift. It comes to you." He said, "You got gifts, so don't worry about it. It'll hit you." And I got baptized again. I said, "Oh, he's right."
Do you know many powerful people in the Bible that didn't speak in tongues? Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know
I
what I
want
mean?
to know how they communicated like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was the whole 9 yards. I finished it, and I've had I had about 3 or 4 offers to deal with it, but it was all about the money, and I told them no, this has got to be dealt with. And what was wonderful, it took me about a year to write it. I lost it 3 times. The last time I lost it in the computer. The last time I found it, and my brother told me, he said, "You're not writing the story right. You know where the songs go. Write it again." And by the time the third time, it came through, and when I read it, I said to myself, "Wow, who wrote this?" You know, I know where the music went, but you know.
You know how they say in the church, "Let the Lord use you."
Yeah. Everything else I've been doing, I've been going along great. Anything I deal with is moving. The
You are
19th
amazing.
thing came, huh?
I said, you are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing more than look. I'm hearing more than I expected of you. You're
Okay, well,
amazing.
I stopped talking. I was just saying, I get rolling there.
No, that's okay. What you're saying is just great stuff. I'm eating it up. Wait a minute, Gary. Are we go? Oh, I'm sorry, Gary. It's 4 o'clock, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fine. It's no problem with going over anything. Yeah.
Good, because I was all into this.
I know.
You know, Gary, you've been gleaming for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
And now I know why. You know, y'all get this book. Gary,
The book is great.
Y'all have heard him. Same here.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have heard him, and that's just an eighth of what you're gonna read in that book.
Mm-hmm.
I would guess.
Oh yeah.
So it's amazing. I'm just thoroughly impressed, and to think that you were such a major influence in Motown, in history, and developing some of the people that we adore to the day until today, and didn't know your name until the Supremes were on the show. They spoke about you. That's how I heard about you first.
Wow.
And I'm like, how would I not know him? You know, I know you, and I mean, here you are, 86 years old, talking like you're half your age. And I mean that. You look great. You got a beautiful wife. I mean,
she took 60 pounds off me.
Wow.
Yeah, took 4, maybe 5 months.
Mm.
And I had all my clothes, I had the suits and stuff forever. And I said, "Oh man, I got to get rid of all this stuff." I said, I took about 4 or 5 I really liked, and I went to the tailor. I said, "Could you make this suit fit me?" And the tailor said, "You know where you are?" I said, "Yeah, I'm in a tailor shop." He said, "What do you do?" I said, "Well, I'm a producer writer." He said, "Are you good at it?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Okay. Well, you're in the tailor shop. I'm good at what I do. I can make a dress fit you. What are you talking about?"
You lost that much weight. He could have said, "That's too much alterations here." That's too much.
I had to have all my stuff redone. It was amazing.
Okay.
Amazing.
And I have a feeling that you're going to keep writing. You're going to keep producing. People are going to put you. This is what I'm feeling like. You don't even have to go look for anything anymore. They're coming to you.
Amazing. I got the Singing from the Heart coming out, which is Billie Holiday, Josephine Baker, Dinah Washington, Mahalia Jackson, Bessie Smith, Dorothy Dandridge, Eartha Kitt, and Lena Horne. They all come together.
Nice.
And they tell this story. It's called Singing from the Heart. Incredible show. Trying to get me to put it in USC right now.
You didn't leave anybody out.
Sure didn't.
Those ladies were the most incredible fighters to win in the world.
Well, you know what? I have to change that. You did leave one out.
Well, leave out.
Hazel,
you forget.
Who?
Hazel Scott.
Hazel Scott.
Yeah.
Hazel Scott. I gotta go look her up. I may have to slip in. You're right, man. Hazel Scott. I got tons of my library. I got everybody over there. I got to see if she's up there. If not, I'm gonna find me one. Hazel Scott.
Hazel Scott. Hazel Scott was one of the first. She was the first African American to have her own TV show. She beat Nat.
That'll be a surprise. A lot of people don't know, but remember that. That's a real callback right there.
Oh, he would. Trust me.
Great, man.
He's a walking library.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, you're stretched it to 9 now. Okay.
And I'm kind of partial because I'm an instrumentalist, but I got into Vired because she was not only a singer, she was a saxophonist back, I think it was in the 40s. And back then, women, we weren't playing trumpets and saxophones. I mean, we were, but we weren't respected.
Yep.
And I was shocked that she's still alive. She's about 100 years old now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Vired, Viredd. Amazing. Because I'm a saxophonist, so that's why I know more about. I know all the ladies you just said, but there were some women who were trying to play the trombone and the trumpet and the saxophones, and they didn't get the attention as the female vocalists because they felt back then that's your place. You're going to be in front if you don't sing, but if you come out with a saxophone or a trumpet or drums or what have you, and there is some footage out there of women playing horns, and they were just as good, of course.
Oh yeah.
And, so that's so yeah, I do go a little outside the box of all the singers.
My mother worked with a all women's band too.
See. And I just
Sweethearts of Rhythm, I think they were called Sweethearts of Rhythm, I think.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, she worked with. She was.
She did. Wow. Okay. Wow. Because I saw video of that. So yeah, just reading about and seeing that they paved the way. So everybody's, these women, they were going through a lot.
Their stories are unbelievable. Right now.
Yeah, they're a lot.
One thing I do want to ask you, Mickey, before we get you out of here today, but could you tell us a little bit about what was behind the song Mickey's Monkey?
Oh man, I hate that song. I tell everybody every time they ask me that song. I think Janie Bradford and somebody else, they wrote that song. Yeah. And it was writing it about me in the studio. When I go in the studio, and I be producing, I do my thing, I be jumping. And oh boy. And every time, all in Europe, they said, Mickey's Monkey, did you write that song? I say, no, I did not write that song. Blah, blah, blah. And they want to do a whole speech on it. All I can tell them is they took it behind me, the way I produce in the studio, the way I work, you know what I mean? I have to, if I'm doing a thing on the bass player and I'm giving him a lick, I'm feeling it with him, and I may turn to the drum and give him a, so I'll be really pulling out what I feel, right? And so they made a joke out of that. But, and I tell everybody, I give them the story, and then I say, between us in this room right here, I hate that damn song. But that's what that was
about. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Okay, all right.
Mickey, I gotta ask you the question, and I know it's hard to kind of encapsulate all of this at once. I'm just kind of, and I don't want you to get messy about it, but I'm just looking at, talk about some of the interesting personalities at Motown when you were like in the height of it, and who you had to deal with that were like kind of like, what are they doing? But their artistry was impeccable.
You mean as artists,
as artists, they were impeccable, but they just had these personalities that were just like off the chain.
I guess like the drummer you spoke of, he was an addict, but he was like a metronome.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody has something, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, I don't know if any of them come to mind, but you know what? I've been doing a lot of I come across some information about a lot of the producers that were doing a lot of different things, and how certain artists had some confrontations with certain producers in there, and one of them was, I guess it's just, the way they felt about Norman Whitfield. I just kind of figured that, Norman
was special.
Okay.
Norman was special. Well, from that angle you're speaking now, Norman Whitfield and Marvin Gaye, they were in the same place in their heads about the system, and they came at it from Norman's was out of anger, and Marvin's was out of not understanding why. He had a whole nother approach.
Yeah, he had, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Where Norman's was from an anger point.
Mm-hmm.
And they wrote with that in their thinking when they wrote.
Okay. Yeah.
And I told Barry about Norman Whitfield. He said, "Man, nobody like him." I said, "I like him. This is my job. The guy's got something to say, and he's going to say it every opportunity he gets, any kind of way. That's his style." So there's a whole universe of people that lives in his style. And he was complaining about everything. But everything he was complaining about was going on. You know what I mean?
Yes, indeed. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
So he act that way when he walked and talked. I mean, it wasn't just in his music. That was him as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And Marvin had the same kind of thing. Marvin was a giver. He was a giver.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Norman was a fighter. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My point of view, mind you. This is my way of dealing with it.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm looking at something. Did he not write Papa Was a Rolling Stone?
Yeah.
That tells me something.
Cloud Nine, Rolling Stone, Cloud Nine. In other words, what are y'all talking?
All the confusion.
Ain't too proud to beg.
Yeah.
Ain't too proud to
You
beg.
got it? Now you got my point.
Yeah.
And I would tell when Barry come out and say, "Man, leave the guy alone, because he's going to come out with a record." I'm telling you right now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole audience out there that lives in that world with him.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't
and
separate.
Love don't live here anymore.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this,
But if you notice, all those have a message. Every song has a message.
Mm-hmm.
And if you listen to the lyrics of those songs, it's going to hit all of us somewhere that was in our lives. These things were happening.
Now, let me ask you this.
Whether it be our fathers or our mothers or our sisters or our cousins or the drug, or how come that guy didn't make it because he couldn't get off of that, he would have had a little help, he that got off of it. Who helped him?
That's
he
right.
got us too now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now, Dennis Edwards, he did not want to sing Papa with a Rolling Stone. Why?
Who didn't?
Dennis Edwards.
What his personal reason was.
His personal reason.
But
because he was saying something about his dad died on that day,
I say,
right?
it might have, some of the stuff hit you in the face. Some of the lyrics can hit you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can deny it. You can't deny it if you start singing, because whatever's in your heart's going to come out in the voice and on the song. So if you want to avoid it, you better not sing the song. We're great artists. Dennis and all of them, they were great artists. So certain things they couldn't hold back. So they'd rather not sing or whatever. If they're going to do it, they're going to deliver how they feel. Mm-hmm. And when you sing Norman songs, you got to get on it. He didn't fool around. Stand there and say, "That ain't what I said." Don't be changing my lyrics.
Let you know.
Because I was watching a YouTube the other day with Dr. Otis.
Oh.
And, he brought on these other cats, to take the place of the Temptations, but he also expressed the original Temptation.
Oh yeah.
Like Paul was the choreographer. Eddie, he designed the uniform.
Yeah, they were on the case. The original choreographer was a guy named Lon Fontaine.
Okay. Now who's the other coordinator?
Charlie
Charlie Atkins.
Charlie Atkins.
Yeah, from the Apollo. He was coordinator.
Yeah, right.
He got. I brought Lon Fontaine in. He was the first one. I'm in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and I got about 3. When I say I got MOTOWN'S, they were in different clubs in those days. Atlantic City was a whole nother place, and they were in different places performing and all that. And I would go by and look at them and make sure they were what they did was that I think could do better. I make my notes, and when they go to the dressing room, I give them my notes, and I would have somebody over here. I may have a Kim over there. I may have Tops over here, whatever. And I'm wore out, and so I decided I'd get away from everybody. So they had a nice little club that had like a New York style on it, with the cloth on the thing and the sawdust on the floor. It had a nice feeling to it. So I said, let me go in there, because everything else was sawdust, stage, get the money. You know what I'm saying? The place was a little more relaxing. I go in the place, I sit down, get me some champagne. I'm trying to make myself really cool out. And the show starts. And a guy comes out, dressed all fancy, and he had 6 girls behind him. And he's dancing. And the choreography was great. I mean, he was all over the place. The girls was there, and the music was hot. And I said, look like I was on Broadway someplace. And I'm sitting there watching this go down. And I said, wow, this guy's great, the dancer. So I asked the owner, I said, who did the choreography for this? He said, the guy that's in front dancing, Lon Fontaine. I said, connect with you, I want to talk to him. So of course, when part of the show was over, we brought him over to the table. He came with 3 girls with him, and they sat down. I said, man, did you choreograph all this stuff? He said, yeah. I said, this is what you do, or what, he said, yeah, I choreograph, and I do all my own shows and all that stuff. I said, would you come to Detroit and work with some artists for us as a choreographer? And he said, what kind of artists you got? So I told him, and he said, well, what you paying? I said, how much you make here? He told me. I said, okay, I'll double that.
Wow.
You'll double it? I said, yeah. So one of the girls said, you got them Temptations and all that. They on that label, right? I said, yeah. And so because they was after the guys. So he said, okay, I can't start for a couple of weeks. I got to go into Apollo or whatever. I said, no problem. I'll see that you get there. I'll make sure you get an apartment, the whole 9 yards. And one of the girls said, can we go? And he said, I'm gonna need some help. I said, okay, you can take 2 of them with you. And
so pick 2.
yeah, right. Because I want to make sure. When I saw his work, I wanted that guy, whatever it took. Yeah. Barry would say, man, why would you go? He used to say to me, why you go all the way? I say, because when they're great, man, you want to get them, because if somebody else get them, we lose. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so I hired him right then. And I said, now who did that music? And he said, the trumpet player. I said, yeah, he did all that stuff? He said, yeah. I said, I want to talk to him. Have him come over. So they left. Trumpet player came on. Name was Gil Askey. He came over. He studied. What you want? I said, hold it, man. I don't mean no harm, but can I cut to the chase? He said,
look, just listen.
I said, you did all the music. And where did you study from? He went to Juilliard, blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, man, I would like for you to come and do some arrangements for our shows. And he said, I said, oh, before you start talking, because every time he's talking, take him 5 minutes to get 2 words out. I said, let me explain to you what I'm talking about. I cut right in. I said, most of our shows and most of R&B shows end with a fade, dun 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 ending. I said, where I come from, shows segue into other shows, other songs and all that. So I want that Broadway big theater sounding stuff. I don't want it to end like everybody else's. So would you come and change these arrangements and make that happen for us? He said, I said, hold it. How much you making? I said, whatever it is, I'll double it. He said, you'll double it? I said, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I said, yes, I can do that. I can double it. I say, now, when can you come into Detroit? He said, I got to go to New York. I said, hold it. You going to the Apollo? I'll call you there. I'll get your ticket and I'll fly you in. Bring your stuff with you.
Wow.
I'm saying all that to say, and I did exactly what I said I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I brought Lon Fontaine and I brought Gil Askey. And I brought him in, and I had Lon Fontaine to work with the Temptations. He's the one to come up with the microphones that spread out, you know, that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It was his idea. And
Wow.
at the I mean, he had it down. I mean, he was very, very, very good. And Gil Askey, when Barry walked into the studio, I had Gil working on the Four Tops with my boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had Gil working on the arrangements. When they leave one song, I want them to segue and, you know, move into the next number and forget all that stop and talk. Let's do theater with our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So Barry coming downstairs, he said, man, who's this guy you paying this money to, this arranger guy? I mean, what the? I said, hold it, Barry. You know, there he is right there. He's rehearsing right there. So I said, why don't you just listen? So Gil was telling him, Gil study. Okay, go there. Yeah. When I was talking to him, the band's playing, he's playing with him. Baby, I mean, we would say, we put it together. Barry said, oh shit, man, I need that guy. He said, I want him for the Supremes. I said, for the Supremes? I got him for the Four Tops. And he said, whose company is this?
Again.
Yes.
He just took it. He took it. And of course, he got with the Supremes, stayed there for 40 years.
Wow.
And but he did. I still had him do other.
Right. So that's an amazing story.
That is.
You know, in the book, I didn't leave none of it out.
Incredible.
When Barry, they did an award for Gil Askey. He's one of the great. Now he was on the scale of Quincy and Billy Bias and all that. He's one of those kind of guys, right?
Right.
The best schools in the world. The Bollinger arrangement stuff. You know what I'm talking about as a musician.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, these guys could write an arrangement and watch a football game at the same time.
That's how good they were.
It would drive me crazy. I say, man, when you gonna finish my arrangement? You're here watching the game. He say, I'll have the. What's your problem? Get out of the room. The game. I got a bet going on here. You know what I'm saying?
They did the arrangements. They scored it as well. You had charts and scores and everything, so the musicians can read.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Oh, incredible. So I had those.
Back then, they didn't have software, y'all.
Exactly. See, back then we had that kind of stuff. Back then, so we were up on it. And not that I'm some genius. That's how arrangements was supposed to be in the first place. But as R&B people, we would kind of put it together and all that. But if you want it on the one, you got to have it laid out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So James Brown was as closest to him, and Ray Charles was as closest to staying within an arrangement figure than anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys, when you come down with Quincy and Billy Bias and Gil Askey, that stuff is laid out. You can, you know.
They scored.
Oh,
I gotta say thank you to Mickey, because the thing about it is a lot of people don't understand that element is from the 1940s big band, and you had the singer actually singing these great tunes, and they would go from one song to the next. Y'all kept it alive.
Yes.
Because the stuff y'all were doing when y'all was traveling on the road,
the best show
on the road, going into all these venues and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best show out there.
And that's why I because I listen to a lot of music, and then I love these great singers, and they do it in the studio now, and it's great. I mean, I'm not trying to say nothing in present time. I'm talking about classic R&B.
Yes.
These orchestras behind them.
Mm-hmm.
With strings and
Yes.
and horns and glockenspiels and harps.
Yes.
All of this going on behind them.
Yeah.
And I said, that's because being a programming of a radio station like I am, I look for that stuff. I'm looking for emotion. I'm looking for kick-ass excuse the expression, rhythm
I'm with you,
section,
brother. I'm with you.
all of
I'm
this
with you.
stuff.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and the thing about it is, it's about the arrangement, the composition, you know, all of this stuff is, and when I'm listening to music, I want to hear that stuff. I want to hear these great vocalists behind a great orchestra, you know, and see, that is like a dying animal, because to me, I don't know what these people are listening to today. I have no idea.
It's a dying animal because
And it just needs to return, because I you know, that's what I do, and I have to have that. I'm just going to be honest. You know, I love that.
It's just
I
like
saw
you
the
say,
video of a classic Motown review at the Apollo, and Stevie Wonder was doing fingertips, and he had this huge big band behind.
Yeah. And the guy who was walking with him, that was Clarence Paul.
Okay.
He's the one that brought Stevie Wonder to me.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to that's in the book. I was going to get rid of him because I had him. Clarence Paul and I was Sam and Dave in the city. We were the Sam and Dave kind of thing. When I took the job with Motown, I hired him because I didn't like none of the albums. Barry said, well, I said, man, this is garbage. These are songs that we don't even want, so you stick them in an album. That's not going to make us great. Every song's got to be good. We got enough producers here. We got our own studios, so if it don't sound right, throw it over there. But every song's got to be good, first and second, but the rest of the stuff's got to be good.
Yeah.
I say that's a time-consuming job. So I'm going to hire this guy who's a great artist. He's a great writer and all that. He's not in the level that we are in at this moment, but I worked with him. I know how he can turn any song into something. I'm going to have him be in charge of putting the songs in the albums. And Clarence Paul, that was his job. And I was returning a favor to him for letting me work with him and teaching me about blues. So I brought him in to be my assistant to make sure our albums, and if you play them, we got good songs in those albums.
Right.
And so I had him there for about a year and a half. Cutting to the chase, he wanted to produce some of the main artists, you know, like the Temps and the Tops and stuff like that. I said, I can't do that, Clarence, because I already got producers. I can't pull them and put you on. That's crazy. I said, I'll let you do a song and when it comes down to the meeting, if it comes up to the level that could be the A or B side, I'll stick it in there for you. But these guys are giving me hits. I can't take them off and put you on. It don't work like that.
But making them a lot of the B-sides are hit. Then they
I know, but I'm saying that but they was already chosen whether they were going to go in or not because they were in the album. In other words, that was his job, is to pick and choose. But I couldn't let him produce these artists.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you say you got the hit on the Temps, well, you got the next record. You got me? Now, if it don't come up when I bring it in the meeting, if it don't hit the score now, then I take yours out and his going in.
Well, you know,
like yours going in the album.
Right.
Just like what you were saying a few minutes ago. Like you were saying a few minutes ago that you know, you want the artist start a song, lead right on to the next song. That's still happening today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With that thing like that, that was the whole idea. The segue, we call it segue into the next.
Segue. Yeah, we call this here segue.
I see now big bands, but Sinatra and all that, they've been doing it all the time.
All the time.
That's what's being done in our world. Our world. That's my point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they go from a jazz tune into a ballad, and the guy smoke a cigarette and sing something else, and all of a sudden you're back in the whole 9 yards. The whole thing don't stop for maybe 10 minutes.
Right.
But in our world, it was like, you know, not only did they stop, now they got to kind of count off the next tune. 1, 2.
Hey, I saw Jimmy Smith on the B3, right? And he got up from the organ and walked away, and it's still going. He went on, smoked a cigarette, and come back to it.
Still playing.
That's part of the show, though.
But Gil Askey said when he finished working like he was doing, and went with the Springs and all that, stayed with her for years. When he came, they gave him an award as an arranger, conductor, or some big award he got. And Barry was handed to him, and he thanked Barry and all that, and he turned around from the pulpit and he said, I just want to say, Mickey Stevenson walked into a club in Atlantic City, and he changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Just takes one.
It just takes, indeed.
Yeah.
Just keep
Amazing.
working. Just keep going. Just keep going.
For him to say that was just amazing to me. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, you've influenced a lot.
A lot.
It's the gift. See, I didn't know I was what. Let me see. I know what I was doing while I was doing it, but I didn't know where it came from. I just went with the feeling, and I never. Once I saw that I was right about whatever I did, I just stayed with it no matter what. And I made a couple of mistakes. Don't misunderstand me, but they were very few. But the ones that were winners were huge.
Yeah.
Made everything change within our system for Motown. So that those who followed us had a good motto to follow. That's my whole point.
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Will there ever be another Motown?
I think they're Motown's. I think from that one they grew into different areas, but it went into the next level.
Mm-hmm.
But they had something to go from. They had some evidence that it can work for us as people.
A foundation.
And and they make it real clear. The battle in the studio was one fight. Now when we leave and everybody go home, we had to sit down and figure out how to get the battle to the next level with this radio stations and the whole white system. That was a whole nother battle we had to get through.
Right.
All the artists didn't know that because they would go crazy.
Yeah.
We couldn't tell them. And we prayed in every meeting. And if you weren't in our meeting, you can't get in our prayer because we don't know where you coming from.
But you know, you just
that's the stuff people don't know. You understand what I'm saying here?
I get it though.
Yeah.
I totally understand.
Yeah, what your name is. You know, stay outside and we tell them, okay, keep them outside. That when we're not going to do, we can let them in. Now we got to figure out how to handle this right here. How we doing this? It ain't happening. Well, can we get it on? No, we got to figure out. They blocking us off. What do you think? You go to Chicago.
I get it.
You had those two major record companies, which is Stax and Motown.
Yep.
Motown stayed longer than Stax did.
Oh yeah. Well, Stax was backed by the white boy. He was with Al. So he had a little sliding room. He could do some unfair stuff. You don't mind me saying so. Where and by the way, Al Bell was in a hospital not too long. I've been calling trying to reach him.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta get him. But Al was doing it from his heart. But the guy was doing it for a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
And I would fly in there and sit down with Al too. I would go by there and go in there. They had two or three studios, two recording studios. A great little setup back there. I would go in there and sit down with him, and he was battling. He had the image, but he didn't have the power control because of the white boys. Blah blah blah. But he was great. Al Bell had a gift too.
Mickey, have there been any groups that you guys at Motown kind of like let slip through the cracks and they went on to do great things and kind of felt like, oh wow, look at them.
Yeah,
You know?
Von, they let me slip through the cracks.
Well,
I slipped through the cracks.
don't let me get started, Mac.
I know it, please.
This ain't no time for that, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I think what the motto we set was picked up by those who need to see it and take their aspirations and move on. I think it was a setup where those who wanted to know it can happen. There's no denying that it can happen.
Right.
They got their gifts and put it together and pushed on. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
You can own some of this stuff. You ain't got to be employed by somebody and they taking it all and they're using you to get it. You got to learn how to get some of that ownership.
Right.
That started happening.
No doubt
That started
about it.
happening.
The only thing I'm thinking about, the Spinners.
Mm-hmm.
They were on Motown's label, but is it true that they just couldn't get that one hit, or it was just wasn't working for them at the time?
Well, I can't speak for everybody. All I know is some of the artists, they had the gifts, but they weren't as devoted
Okay.
to
Okay.
it. And when things came along that they was making it, they had other things to do other than that. You know what I mean?
That.
Yeah.
I got it.
Artists who really make it in this industry, from my point of view, this is part of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
That could cost them a relationship. It could cost them this. It could cost them that. I don't know. All I know is this is what they must do.
Right.
Those are the ones that come through. Now, some of them come through and they get so good at it until nothing else really matters, and they may leave here in a strange way.
Right.
They did do what they can do, and they were great at it. What they did. Now, some come along and they got a good start, but a lot of other things get into their lives, and they don't put only so much time in it.
I'm in it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can only deal with them according to, for me, according to what I think they should be doing, where I think they should be going. When I run across a wall with them, when I'm not doing that tonight or whatever they want to say, I recognize that they're going to move on their pace. So I have to put my attention to another level, a different artist.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Definitely.
You know
A
what
lot
I
of
mean?
sense.
Because I'm here to make it happen. I don't care. Because it costs me a lot too now. Don't get it twisted.
Sure.
A few words.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I
Because
know
I would
Michelle is probably saying, "How long are you going to be here?"
Hey, baby.
Yeah, but this
This young lady say you got it made being with me.
No, I said you got
Man,
me.
look here. God, you also talk a lot.
I'm sure Gary, he's gonna wrap it up for us, so you can move on with. But yeah, well, back to you, G. Let you do it.
I tell you, man. It's just.
We can keep going.
We can talk to you like 3 days if we want. I mean, that's just how, man. It's just wonderful. This is such a pleasure that you come on today, man, and hung out with us to tell us.
Oh, it was great. I'm sorry a little with this late thing.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
You ain't got nothing to be sorry about. We take 1 minute of you.
I want to hear about all the females was in your life.
Oh, man. That's why I'm glad I hear. I need to
Hey, man, who is Charmaine? Did you give that lady a new name?
I didn't say that.
You did say some Charmaine.
I said
he did. I didn't even hear it.
I said I want some chicken chow.
So tell him how much weight you are since you've been with me.
I told him 65.
Okay.
He did tell us.
That's awesome.
He told the truth? Nothing but
he
the
told
truth.
He
Okay.
did.
He told the truth.
We just didn't believe it when he told us his age. I'm like,
Yeah.
Can't be.
And he got more energy than me.
And I told him, you have
Hey,
a
well,
Hold on. I want y'all to hear say it again, baby.
Say it again. Say it again.
hey, look here, look
He
here.
has more energy than me.
Well, you know what?
Well.
It's amazing. Your name is Michelle. He's Mickey. So do they ever call y'all Eminem?
Yeah. I write that on some of our posts. Yeah, I write that on some of our posts.
That's cool.
Well, y'all look so happy. I told him how blessed he was. His career is still taking off. He still has energy. People are coming to him. And you have a beautiful wife, man. You're set.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, man, all you got to do is just keep feeling good and everything.
That's true.
Like I said,
I love it.
move every day, and I'm old too, Mickey.
Oh, hey, that's what I'm
I'm
talking
old too.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but I told him.
It's, you know how you take care of yourself.
I'm just gonna say the happier you are, and food is a medicine, and the more happy you are, the longer you live. It's an energy. Help with business. I mean, across the board, and food is really definitely a medicine, and we can alter anything with food. The doctors are not gonna tell you.
All
that.
right, Dr. Sebi.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But see, one of the great things is I don't give a damn.
Come on.
You squabble about anything during the day, but you never go to bed angry.
Come on now. Preach.
Squabble.
Good. That's
All right.
That's good.
Because we know what anger does to the body and to the brain.
That's
I mean,
right.
cancer. It creates stop and emotions. You know what I'm saying? Stop and stuck emotions in the body because we don't.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when are you gonna do your podcast on health and?
I have a background in spiritual psychology. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. Mind out.
Oh, she
Wait, she froze. Oh, and I want to hear this.
Oh,
What
happened?
Oh man.
How do we say the devil is a liar? Come back. Oh, Dad, I want to hear that.
Freeze.
I guess we got to end the show now.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to have him back, G.
Oh yeah.
Both of
Definitely. If we can get him back, we'll definitely do that for sure.
Yeah, let's have him back. I really, really enjoyed that.
We didn't even scratch the surface compared to the book.
I might as well let y'all know. I'd love to hang on with y'all this afternoon and have our review afterwards. But my son just got here with the grandbaby, and I'm just like, you know.
That's all right. My husband's already texted me twice. I'm hungry.
I know. I'm hungry too.
And so, you know, I gotta go see my grandson, y'all. Y'all just.
well, let me give a quick shout out if they're still in the chat room to Colleen, Gia, Keith, Joel, CTK, Costella, Algie, and T. Risay Drake Jones. I think Max said that you were part of the Sam Cooke stage play.
Right.
And Jessica from Africa, nice to see you back. JC Smith and Lynette Simon. So again, if you're still here, click check up. Thumbs up and subscribe. And we'll see you next week.
Somebody coming on the iPhone.
I think they
Well, we are. The devil, the enemy tried to shut us down, but we back.
All right.
That's exactly what I said. The devil is a liar.
Go ahead and finish that.
When one thing shut down, we find another way.
That's right.
That's right.
But I think you're wrapping up and just want him to say.
Yeah, we're going to wrap things up, but I just want to say again, we really, really, really appreciate you guys. We really appreciate the time you took to stay on with us. And we enjoyed every minute of it. It was just awesome.
But don't forget to tell about that book, The A&R Man.
The A&R Man. Yes, yes.
You don't have a copy in front of you, do you? Where you could raise
I
up.
do. Hold this, Mickey. Don't move it. Hold it like that.
Y'all.
Hey, Mickey, can I get mine
out?
signed? I want mine signed when I buy it.
Well, I was going to ask you, Mickey, how do you order it where it can be autographed? Do you have to go directly?
Autograph. Well, you got to go to my site for that.
That's what I figured.
Okay.
She'll give you a number for that, and then.
Okay. Yeah, when she comes, give us that, because I want mine autographed.
Absolutely. I'm more than happy to do so.
Now, where do you live? In California?
Woodland Hills, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I know the area very well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm out here. Yeah, and we just missed that tornado, whatever that mess was that went by.
Good.
Here's the book. Are you able to see it?
Yes, see it.
Oh yeah.
Everybody see it.
Yeah.
The A&R Man.
The A&R Man.
And where can we
I'm on Amazon.
purchase it? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You can get it from Amazon, but for an autograph, we'll send it.
I have somebody gave me the number at the beginning. I'll call and we'll send it to him personally.
Yeah, we'll send you a number where you can get an autograph.
Okay, we'll post it. We'll share it on social media.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Because I want mine autographed.
Ain't no question about it. I can say a few words. I can say a few words in there too.
That's okay.
Look, Michelle, I told him I'm trying not to act like a groupie, if you know what I mean, because I was excited. I'm sorry. Hearing his story, man, so much wisdom, so much history.
Yeah,
I love this. And Gary, when you guys lost signal, Gary and I were talking, and Gary was. What did you say, Gary? You say it. Gary?
You caught me off guard. I don't know what you said.
Oh, I guess he's busy. We got to have y'all back.
Okay. Well, one of the things I want to say, I really love his book as well. And not just because I love him, but he's a very vivid writer. So you feel like you can see, feel, and hear it. I feel like I'm there. Mm-hmm. And he's such a good storyteller. Like when he tells his stories, I said, you need to do this book on audio because sometimes people don't have time to read. So like if you're in your car, you can really, and he's just an amazing storyteller.
Oh,
So
yeah,
we're
absolutely.
working on that. That's our next thing that we're working on. Right,
Oh,
babe?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
It'll be an audio.
It'll be awesome.
Okay, I love that. Okay. All
Yeah.
right, guys. All right, G. I'm
Okay.
done.
Well, we thank you very much. I enjoyed the book, so definitely y'all, if you're listening, please go get it. It's very worth it. It really is. And again, thank you so much, William, for coming on.
Thank you.
It was just awesome. It really was. And
All right.
everybody have a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Be safe, and we'll see you next week.
All right.
All right. Have an amazing guy. Have an amazing guy.
Actually understood that.
Well, that's because my guy's amazing, so I get a little confused. But anyways, have an amazing weekend.
You
All right, you
too.
too.
All right.
Cowboy shirt. Is that Cowboys?
All right.
What was that?
What is that on that? The Cowboys?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to Beyonce concert tonight.
Hey.
Ooh. Oh, girl.